Hello and welcome. This is DSLBD's weekly Lunch and Learn series. Every week at noon on Wednesdays, we provide overviews of different topics that are useful and helpful to DC entrepreneurs and small businesses. This week, we are so excited to talk about one of our own programs, actually two of our own programs. We're going to be talking about the 2022 pitch programs for the We Aspire and the Dream programs. Both of these programs have slightly different eligibility for who may be able to participate. There are a lot of similarities, and the application period to apply is going to be open at the same time. We're going to give a brief overview of these today, and there are going to be additional information sessions per program that will be coming up throughout the next 2 months as these application periods are open. Just to introduce who is speaking today. So talking about the Aspire program will be Caroline Howe, who is leading that this year. Talking about the Dream program is Shannon Taylor, who's leading that up. I won't be speaking much more, but I will be here in the chat if you need help. But my name is Kate Marin. I'm the program manager for DSLBD's Innovation and Equitable Development Division. I'll also just say quickly, if you would ever like to reach out to DSLBD, we talk to entrepreneurs about all sorts of different topics. The easiest way to get in touch with anyone from our team, including also Camille Nixon, who is our Access to Capital Manager, is to reach out to inno.ed@dc.gov. We do technical assistance with any DC business or entrepreneur on any topic, and we have a number of other programs that may be able to help support you. After that, we also want to make sure that we can connect you with the many free technical assistance providers across the district. So please reach out on any topic, and we will do what we can to help. But with that, I'm going to turn things over to Caroline.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kate, for that introduction. And so We Aspire is DSLBD's program for returning citizens, and we are really excited to be launching it with you all today. The applications opened yesterday and will be open through April 1st at 2 p.m. for both programs. We'll say that date and time a number more times today, but want to make sure that you have it top of mind. So DSLBD is launching We Aspire 2022, which as last year will be a 40-person cohort, and in that cohort receive weekly trainings for returning citizen entrepreneurs and small businesses. So 40 participants representing both new businesses and existing businesses, all returning citizens, will go through 12 weeks of these interactive workshops, and we'll talk more about what those will cover in a moment. And in that time, we'll also have incredible benefits for them of mentorship, support, advice, direct technical assistance, group mentoring, and all of which will help build new businesses and grow existing businesses. At the end, participants will all pitch their businesses in an incredible pitch celebration. And every business that completes the program and pitches will receive at least $2,000 for their business, up to $10,000 in business awards. So we're really excited about the entire program, and let's dive in a little further. Next slide, please. So applications opened yesterday. They will stay open until April 1st at 2 p.m. During that time, applications will be open for you to submit at any point in that time. The sooner you submit, the sooner you will be able to get a courtesy pre-eligibility review, in which we'll let you know if there's anything that you need to edit before final submission for your eligibility, which we'll talk about those requirements in a moment. We'll have a number more information sessions, all of which are available you can register for at dslbd.eventbrite.com. That's our Eventbrite page where you can register for our information sessions that will dive deeper into Aspire, the program, the application, and the requirements. We are also offering one-on-one support. So you can schedule one-on-one 20-minute sessions with me and my colleagues to get support on understanding more about Aspire and your application. Then, starting after applications close, we'll make those evaluations and selection for 40 people to enter this year's cohort. The cohort will begin in May and run through August. 12 weeks of Monday and Wednesday classes from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Those classes are online, and we've had participants, of course, be able to participate in the program while running their own businesses or while working full-time jobs. Then in August and September, we'll have a series of qualifying pitches and the final pitch day, where a panel of judges will rate the pitches, and together with that scoring and the director of DSLBD make those final decisions on funding. Next slide, please. So what are we going to cover in those 12 weeks of classes, and why is it worth it to join so many classes? Well, it is going to cover a lot of material for both new and existing businesses. The Build a Dream curriculum, some of you have seen, but it is the first 3 weeks really cover the basics of getting your business started, defining your market, defining your offering. What is that product or service that you're going to be providing your customers? We'll then dig into financial projections, funding, and capital, how to raise it for your business, and tapping into all of the incredible resources in the city to fundraise for businesses. Then we'll talk about building your both personal and business credit, all of the regulatory pieces of getting your business registered officially and formally, how you test your business and pivot when you realize there's new opportunities, building your network, a lot of practice public speaking, and promoting your brand in person and online, and getting you ready for these pitch competitions. So throughout the program, we'll be working on your pitch deck and getting you really ready to hit it out of the park when it comes to pitch day. Next slide, please. We also have incredible guest speakers. A really incredible part of the 12 weeks of Aspire is hearing from other returning citizen guest speakers from both the Aspire alumni, our broader DC community, and national returning citizen entrepreneurs and business leaders with shared experience of incarceration and a wealth of business experience. So we're excited that we will have alumni from last year, local leaders, including the incredible folks from Hustlers to Harvesters, national leaders like Marcus Bullock of Flick Shop, and Dave Dahl of Dave's Killer Bread. We're really excited about our lineup for speakers, and of course, then the incredible training assets of the DSLBD and the district business community. Next slide, please. Tons of other benefits come from being a part of a cohort like this. Direct funding, obviously, from the program, but also matched funding from some of our partners, increases in sales through the promotion of your brand through Aspire and the promotional support we will be providing, and real value in terms of B2B services from the cohort. We saw incredible connections happen last year of people hiring from each other. Amazing community benefits in terms of connection to wraparound services like housing, mental health support, and even food resources, really wanting to make sure participants in the program are getting what they need to survive as individuals, thrive as individuals, and thrive as entrepreneurs. We saw incredible personal benefits from all participants in past years of the cohort. So self-advocacy and confidence, public speaking, and the real connections to a cohort of like-minded, passionate, driven, returning citizens. Next slide, please. So who's eligible for this program? First of all, this program is for returning citizens. We define that broadly. For DSLBD, that means justice involvement, folks having experienced incarceration, and you can be at any point in your justice journey in terms of whether that is on house arrest, on parole, fully completed. And so that is the big requirement for this program, along with being a district resident. This program is just for DC residents and DC businesses. So commitment is a huge part of the application. So being ready to commit to our Monday and Wednesday classes and committing to attend as many of those as possible. We request you to attend all of them and know that life happens. Participation requires 85% attendance. For-profit businesses and for-profit business ideas. Again, folks with ideas can apply to Aspire. It does need to be a goal of creating a for-profit business. It can be a very social mission, but we want you to want to start a business. And eligibility this year requires being vaccinated or being prepared to be fully vaxxed by the time the program starts. That's vaccinated for COVID-19. And eligibility did not participate in We Aspire 2021, so last year's program, but alumni from prior cohorts, 2016, 2017, because it had a very different format, those prior alumni are eligible for this program. Next slide, please. So the application, the link to the application you can find on our DSLBD Aspire page, but this is the link as well, and you will get a copy of this presentation, but it's zoomgrants.com/VGF/Aspire22, capital A there. So the application asks for a bit about your business or your business idea, questions to help you, if you are starting a business, help you understand your business and your business idea. For existing businesses, help us understand what your business is currently doing and where your business currently is. Your commitment. So commitment is a huge part of the application, and we want to know that. So we ask for a personal statement of commitment. Why is now the right time for you to participate in Aspire? And that can be in a letter or a video. We also ask for either a letter or a video of support from someone else in your community. So that's something to start thinking about as soon as possible. It can be a friend, a family member, a caseworker, a supervisor, or a colleague who can speak to your commitment in your work and your commitment to your new business. And then eligibility, we ask for attestations to the previous pieces of eligibility I outlined, and we do ask for proof of district residency. We know that for many returning citizens, accessing an ID is a challenge when first returning, and so we do offer alternate types of proof of residency that you can include in terms of a utility bill, or another statement in addition to, of course, an ID or license as valid proof of residency. Next slide, please. I believe that I'm coming to the end of my time today, but we're really excited to have multiple more information sessions coming. So we'll have a full hour to dig into Aspire on February 10th at 10 a.m., February 16th at 5 p.m., and February 28th at 2 p.m. Those are the ones scheduled in February. Again, the application deadline is April 1st at 2 p.m. You can learn more about the program and get that link to apply at bit.ly/weaspire2022, capital W, capital A. So that is about Aspire, and I am going to pass it over to my amazing colleague Shannon to talk about Dream Pitch.
Perfect. Thank you, Caroline, for that. I know that was a lot of information. And as you guys can hear from Caroline, and I'm sure you will hear throughout the rest of the presentation, we are super excited to be here today sharing these amazing opportunities. And so, as Caroline mentioned, and as Kate introduced, my name is Shannon Taylor. I am a project manager for DSLBD and will be running and managing the 2022 Dream Pitch program. And so with that, we can go to the next slide. All right. And so the 2022 Dream Pitch program, much like Aspire, is a cohort-based training, but the eligibility does differ. So eligible businesses to participate in this pitch program must be resident-owned micro businesses located in wards 7 and 8. So we'll dive into that a little bit more, but the Dream Pitch program specifically is for resident-owned Ward 7 and 8 businesses. Businesses that will be accepted into this competitive program, because this application is a competitive process. But through that, if you are accepted, you will complete an 8-week training program. And so a little shorter than Aspire, but within the 8 weeks, we will meet weekly with businesses, and businesses will receive direct business development support. And we're going to highlight a little later specifically the pillars, or kind of the capstone of that business development support that businesses can look forward to receiving weekly. In addition to those weekly trainings, we will also begin to layer in pitch support, how to develop a pitch deck for your business, and ultimately preparing your business to move forward and compete in the actual pitch competition. Businesses will pitch their business at the end of the 8 weeks after completing the 8 weeks in an attempt to receive funding, a funding award directly to the business between $2,000 and $7,500. So that will be the direct funding. But the one thing that I wanted to call out with the Dream, in addition to that funding, your business will also receive in-kind services that add additional value to that. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a sec here. But the overview is, we are seeking businesses that you must be a for-profit business. I do want to share that. And we'll dive into the eligibility, but businesses that are accepted will complete the 8-week program. And the one thing that I want to call out is businesses that apply for this program, we are asking that you have been in operation at some point in your business journey, right? So we, unlike Aspire in the Dream Pitch, will not be looking for businesses that are at ideation stage or that are just thinking about starting a business. The Dream Pitch overarches to really think and help businesses to develop, to grow and become sustainable for many, many years to come. And so we are looking for businesses that are already operational. If you've already been licensed, you've been in operation for some time, and let's say you haven't gone through a regulatory process. But you have a proof of concept, right? You are doing that thing, you are generating sales, you're promoting that brand or business. We encourage you to apply as well. Because again, through this training, we, in collaboration with many of our other regulatory agencies, will provide that direct assistance to you in order to get through that regulatory process. And so on the next slide, we're going to go ahead and jump into eligibility. So eligibility, pretty much I have already outlined these items here. The one thing that I want to make note and encourage you to attend one of the information sessions is because the Dream Pitch program does have a two-part eligibility. And so initially, the eligibility requirements for application, as I mentioned before, will require the micro business to have fewer than 5 employees, and that's full-time employees. The business must be located in Ward 7 and 8, and it must be owned by a Ward 7 or 8 resident, which basically we're asking that if you are majority owner of the business, you must have and be able to prove residency in Ward 7 or 8. Again, I mentioned for-profit businesses only. And basically, to speak to that, businesses that have received Dream Grant funding in 2021 are not eligible to compete in the Dream Pitch 2022 program. And so on the next slide, that's just the general overview. As you're on this session today, if anything that I'm saying around the general eligibility requirements, you feel that your business meets that, we definitely encourage you to explore and visit and review the official application instructions and to apply. So to mention again, the applications are opened. We opened them yesterday, February 1st, and they are set to close on April 1st at 2 p.m., and there will be no exceptions to this deadline. Applications must be submitted through our online application system, which is noted on the link here. Our Zoom grant system is where you can go and start the application. The one thing that I do want to mention, we are discussing 2 separate pitch programs and 2 separate applications. However, if you are a business that meets eligibility for both programs, we encourage you to apply for both. You are able to apply for both Dream and the Aspire program. And so if you meet eligibility, we encourage you to do both. Both are competitive processes. So there might be a instance where you get accepted into one or you don't get accepted into the other, or your business is probably just super awesome that you get accepted to both. And so there is some application review that will be built in where you will be able to select a preference. But again, I encourage everyone to apply, to visit the application, and really familiarize yourself with what we are asking. So on the next slide, we're going to go ahead and show the program overview. So as I mentioned, an 8-week commitment to training and development of your business. And we're going to base those 8 weeks, in addition to those follow-up in-kind services, around these 3 pillars, which is accounting for your business, marketing and branding for the business, and then mentorship. And so the reason for building this pitch program around these 3 pillars is that we find these are the areas that many small businesses or micro businesses, if not taking on training early on in the business, have a lot of hurdles and barriers to really do these pieces very well, right? So we find that businesses that get bookkeepers, that set up great accounting, they create a platform where they can really be able to plan and project growth and sustainability for many, many years to come. And so we will focus that's 8 weeks in addition, of course, to your pitch prep and getting you ready to pitch your business, but more or less around these three pillars. And on the next slide, the program timeline. So as I mentioned, the entire program will run for 8 weeks. Our application period, which is currently open, will run from February until April. And we are looking to roll out those weekly training sessions starting in June through August. And so the training sessions will be, of course, virtual. DSLBD will take the charge, but we will also be partnering with some ward-based resource providers, which we will be sharing very soon. So after the completion of that 8 weeks, you will then be ready to pitch that business at the pitch event, which will take place in September. You can go to the next slide. And so just a general overview. I know you guys probably have so many questions. This was just a scratch of the surface. And so with that, we encourage you to attend one of the upcoming information sessions for the Dream Pitch program. We have an information session coming up actually next Tuesday, February 8th. We will also have another one on March 11th. In addition to that, we will be offering drop-in weekly application Q&A sessions. So as you begin to jump in, you develop questions, you run into a snag on the competitive application, we encourage you to drop into one of those sessions and ask your questions directly. I know we went over a lot, and there's still so much more to go over about this specific program, but to learn more, to access the official requests for application, for the official application instruction document, we definitely encourage you to visit the Dream Pitch program through our DSLBD website, where you can get direct links to sign up for the information sessions, obtain those instructions, and then we also have there built out a list of resources that will help you to navigate some of the eligibility requirements that we discussed early on. And so we are just a few minutes shy of our deadline. So I do want to allow for us time to answer or address any questions that might have come through on the chat. As Kate just mentioned, this session is being recorded. All of the information sessions will be recorded. So there will be an opportunity for you to go back and revisit any information that we discussed today. And so with that, thank you all so much for attending. Kate, I'll pass it back over to you if you have some questions you'd like to tee up.
Wonderful. We did not get very many questions in the chat. So as I'm asking these first couple, if you do have additional questions, do please feel free to put them in the chat so that we can cover them. But as you heard throughout the session, there will be many more opportunities to ask questions as well. I think the first question, just understanding between the 2 programs. So the two programs eligibility, could you clarify just once again the basic difference between the two? I think the question had come in if being a returning citizen was required for DREAM, and so just to highlight that difference again.
Sure, I can start on that. To answer that specific question, no. So DREAM does not have a emphasis on returning citizen led businesses. For the eligibility of DREAM, we are just overarching seeking um, businesses located by residents of Ward 7 and Ward 8. So if those business owners happen to be returning citizens, they are eligible to apply to DREAM, and we encourage you to apply to DREAM. If you are a returning citizen, we encourage you to apply for Aspire, but that does not rule you out from applying to DREAM. The biggest difference that I will say that will come into play in the competitive application for both, though, however, is the stage at which you are at business. And so DREAM is seeking businesses that are operating, actively in operation. I don't know that well, I know that the competitive piece of that will not include ideation stage. So we are seeking and looking for businesses, and if you're able to attend the information session, you'll learn more about that selection criteria and how applications will be evaluated and on what basis. I'll just share overarching. It's definitely going to be the benefit to participate and to receive funding, in addition to the growth potential of the business. And that will be through, your goals, your vision for the business, in addition to your level of commitment, because many businesses within DREAM will be already in operation. We respect your day-to-day, time and what you need to do to properly run your business. Therefore, our sessions, we have less sessions than Aspire, and the program runs for a shorter period of time. And so there are some distinct differences, but Caroline, I'll kick it to you if you have any major call outs that you want to share from Aspire based on DREAM.
No, the only thing I was going to add is just that Aspire doesn't have any criteria restriction based on location, so that again, you do not need to be living in Ward 7 and 8 to apply for Aspire. You can be in any ward of the city. You do have to be a district resident. And again, more information on the criteria at our information sessions, but similarly, commitment is really important as a criteria for the program. That's why we ask both the participant, the applicant, as well as this letter or video of support. And that's one thing I didn't mention. We do also have an option in Aspire for you to be able to submit as a video of both yourself and of the person in your life supporting you if they or you are less comfortable writing. So the other thing I really want to clarify on this, we've talked about eligibility. You can certainly apply for both if you are eligible for both. You will not be able to participate in both in 2022. So again, we've had participants move from Aspire to DREAM in consecutive years. We've had participants move from DREAM to Aspire in consecutive years, but you cannot participate in both programs in 2022. And you will have the opportunity to indicate preference and, if needed, to select between the two. So we definitely encourage you to apply for any program you're eligible for, but note that you won't be able to participate in both.
I think we just have one last question, and I think this is one where, and this is specific to DREAM, regarding the stage of the business, regarding someone asked if startup businesses could seek funding. And I know, Shannon, you already talked about needing to be in operation, but I know that the definition of startup ranges for different folks. So if people are trying to figure out if their business is in operation, what is the best way for them to engage with you to figure out if they're meeting that definition?
Yep, definitely, Kate. I think that definition is hard to define, but what we are seeking, again, and this just speaks to the competitiveness of your application, being able to properly express that, one, you have proof of concept that you are doing or you know, that you're offering up this product or service in your business, not at a stage of, hey, I haven't rolled out, I'm not selling. And so I think a lot of that and how that will be answered and evaluated will be in the grant reviewers and the specific the program reviewers and the specific questions that you will be asked in that competitive narrative. As I spoke before, there is a distinct section about your business growth and business goals, right? Where you are now, how you plan to grow that. We also want to just learn more about your business, how long you've been operating, how have you been operating. And so I would just say if you want, I can't put a definitive time frame or time of operation. I think that's a better way to address that, as far as your business being operational. But just as you begin to familiarize yourself with the scoring criteria as well as the application questions, you will see that that narrative will be able to clearly communicate to a program application reviewer that the business does have great proof of concept and growth potential and would benefit from participating in this program.
Shannon, thank you for that. And then I know we have another couple of questions, and one question that's come in, and I think the answer to this, Shannon, may be a range that's still being determined, but do we know how many participants will be accepted into DREAM this year?
Yep, so we do not have a definitive answer. And so there will be a range. We are seeking to accept between 35 to 50 businesses in the DREAM program, and that can differ. So as we continue to work with and add on partners that will be supporting this program and that cohort model, those numbers will be adjusted to the best benefit and offering of the businesses that are selected, right? We want to make sure that funding amounts make sense, that in-kind services you receive make sense. And so that number will roll out much closer to the actual once applications close, but that is a range of what we are looking to add and have in this cohort for 2022.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I know that we are either at or we're just a little bit over time. So we're going to go ahead and wrap for today. I want to say a huge thank you to Shannon and to Caroline for this first presentation. As you heard from both of them, there are many more presentations. There are many ways to connect with us to get information, help, pre-eligibility review. And so we want you to engage on that. We are going to be sending this recording out with a number of links, but if all else fails, the best thing to always do is to send us an email at inno.ed@dc.gov, and we will help get you routed to what it is that you're looking for and what you need. So thank you so much. I hope that everyone has a great rest of your day. We're going to go ahead and end the session. The recording is just not ending, so it'll be the last couple of minutes for anyone who watches this later, watching me try to end it, but I will just go ahead. The information session link, if someone asked for that, that will be coming out via email to everyone who registered. So I'm going to go ahead and end our session.
Thank you, Kate.